Yeah, my next point though. Jonah was honest and accountable. If you know me, this topic is very important to me. I love people who are honest and who are able to be accountable for their actions. It changes everything. But let's go to verse 10. This is not about me. Let's go to verse 10. Verse 10. The sailors were terrified when they heard this, for he had already told them he was running away from the Lord. Now, Jonah was being disobedient towards God, but I love that man. I love that man. That man was honest. Yo, verse 10 says, they were terrified when they heard this, right? For he had already told them he was running from the Lord. He didn't lie to them. First of all, he didn't have to. If he had kept quiet, they wouldn't have known. But it was honest. It's like, yo, listen, I'm the reason for this. Okay, I'm running from God. I disobeyed God, and I'm sure I'm the reason why this storm has come upon us. I love Jonah. Jonah was honest and accountable. Because think about it, he totally could have kept quiet and said nothing, even though he knew that they were suffering because of disobedience. But instead, he chose honesty and accountability. I love me, Jonah. Verse 11. And since the storm was getting worse all the time, they asked him, what should we do to stop this storm? To stop this storm? And then Jonah says, throw me into the sea. Such audacity, such confidence. It's like, bro, you're going to die. What do you mean throw you into the sea? Like, bro, throw you into the sea? But they did. They threw Jonah into the sea, although they didn't want to, because if you read through the chapter, you see how the sailors struggled, because they were trying their best to save Jonah, but they had to give in at the end. And the verse 17, one of my favorite verses also, it says, after they threw Jonah into the sea, verse 17 says, now the Lord had arranged for a great fish to swallow Jonah. What a God. What a God. You guys, I love God. I really love Jesus. This Christian journey is one of the most difficult. This relationship is hard. Many times it's hard. It's very beautiful. It's joyful. It's peaceful. But it's hard, because this story just makes me, I don't know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling right now. But we start the story with God telling somebody what to do. The person saying, no, I'll do my own. I want to do my own. Yet, I think I'm just amazed at the pursuit of God for Jonah. Yes, God really wanted to save the city of Nineveh. But I'm like, God could have used somebody else if Jonah refused. But God is like, you know what? I'm going to pursue you. Even though you are disobedient to me, even though you're trying to get yourself to do what to not do what I've asked you to do, I will still come after you. And so despite Jonah's disobedience, God still pursued Jonah, got him through the storm, and even in the midst of the storm, the Lord still arranged for a place of safety for him to land. I know, it sounds like, how is a fish safety? It was safety. I don't care what anybody says. A fish was safety. Verse 17, now the Lord, because God could have just left him to drown in the freaking sea. But God is like, you know what? I'm going to save you. I'm going to save you. I'm going to save you. The Lord arranged. Now the Lord had. That just stood out to me. Now the Lord had arranged. Ooh, I just caught that, yo. Now the Lord had arranged. Did you guys catch that? Now, what is man that you are mindful of? Who am I that you're so mindful of? Now the Lord had. Let me open a different translation. Oh my God, that just stood out to me. I'm so sorry, guys. Give me a second. Jonah. Where is Jonah? Jonah. Just by the way, I'm reading NLT. So let me find. Let's do ESV. Verse 17. And the Lord appointed a great fish. Appointed. Let's try a different one. Let's see. ERV. When Jonah fell into the sea, the Lord chose. I guess it's past tense or whatever. The Lord chose a very big fish to swallow Jonah. I like NLT though. I feel like NLT gives it this impression of like, before you mess up, God already knew you would mess up. And so he had prepared a table for you to land on, even after you mess up. Now the Lord had arranged for a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was inside the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Another point I want to make while I was reading this story was, I believe it's verse 15. Verse 15, another point I wanted to make was, after the sailors threw Jonah into the sea. Remember that in verse 5, the sailors were praying to their gods. So they weren't praying to the Creator, like they weren't praying to Jesus, they were praying to their gods. We don't know who the name of their gods. The Bible doesn't say, but it's obvious that it wasn't the God of heaven, right? But you get to verse 15, after they threw Jonah into the sea, then the sailors picked Jonah up and threw him into the raging sea, and the storm stopped at once. Then verse 16 says, the sailors were awestruck by the Lord's great power, and they offered him a sacrifice and vowed to serve him. God will use anything. Yeah. That thing that almost took you out, guess what? In the hands of God is a vessel. That thing that you did, that you thought was the end of the world, that you thought, oh, my life has ended, I have disappointed God, God can never see me in a good way. That thing, in the hands of God, is a vessel. I'm not saying disobey God though. She gets. Let's have sense. I'm not saying because it's better for you to just stay in his will in the first place. So that you know how to lose things. But even when you make mistake, even if the mistake was intentional, the moment you choose God again, God will use it. Yeah. So it's okay. It's okay if you are in that space right now where you decided to go on your own path, and now you're like, oh God, I'm sorry, it's not working. I want to come back home. Come back. Yeah, your Savior is always waiting for you with open arms, and he will restore. He will renew. Now, it doesn't mean that you may not experience the consequences of your actions. It doesn't mean that he will not discipline you, but discipline is love. Your actions, they have consequences. That's just what it is. That's how it is. But when you give when you give the fruits of your mistakes to God, he will use it. He can use it, because not only did the sailors get to experience the might of God's power, they were awestruck, and they're like, you know what? This God is our new God. yeah, this God is who we will serve. So Jonah's disobedience won souls for Christ. Welcome to Christendom. She gets. Yo, I'm still stuck on the last verse. So I'm gonna end this here. This wasn't the way I planned for the video to go. It was supposed to be more structured. I mean, I guess it was structured, but I don't know. I went off my notes many times, but here we are. I hope somebody was blessed. I hope somebody got to see Jesus in this story. But yeah, peace and love, guys.